now. And I know when he first moved in, it was one of the first things he was excited to tell me about and show me. So I did get a chance to go up to their room, and I really love how he has a story for each one. I don't know if you've had a chance to hear any of those stories, but he did make one for me too. So I was gifted one, and it's got its own little story. So if you'd like to see that sometime, it is up in my office. So Mike is going to be able to kind of show you what he does, how he does it, and we will all be enlightened and amazed to see the potato to a Picasso. Thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you. I started out with wood, and in case you just got here, I like to do canes
Is your thing
and walking
unmuted?
Yeah, he's
sticks.
got a mic on, but whether it's
I don't
working.
Did you unmute it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea.
it's green.
It's crazy.
Okay, check.
Check.
It worked.
It was working.
Can you turn mics up? Here,
That should be fine.
go ahead, try it.
Okay, all right.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, and then my kids, there's a movie where the kid says, "I see dead people," and my kid said, "Dad sees a piece of wood and sees faces and animals and critters." And so I was carving wood, like my brother gave me a piece of driftwood, and I'm not finished with that. And here's a piece of wood I found. Got 6 faces, if you can find them. And he made a candle holder out of it. And but one Thanksgiving, everybody always came to our house, so my wife gave me a handful of sweet potatoes, and she said, "I want you to peel these, cut them up, because I'm going to make sweet potatoes with marshmallows." I said, "Okay," and all of a sudden I cut it, and it cut like a piece of wood. So I took the peeler and I started carving a face, and she smacked me and said, "I need to get this done so you can do that later." So I thought, well, maybe I'll try to carve a sweet potato. And then I found a book in one of the carving stores from a guy, Tom Wolfe, down in North Carolina, and he carves the yam. So I read his book and started carving it. So I take a sweet potato, and it comes out like this. And in fact, this is why you don't have an octopus as a pet. And these squiggly legs of the octopus were veins on the potato. So all I did was carve around them, and then I saw this little face on top of the sweet potato, and so I made it in his hat. So he's got a guy living in his hat. And then I started making snowmen, and this turned out to be Praise the Lord snowman. And as I told him, this is the one I did the day Michael Jackson died, so I carved a white glove and put it on his hand. And then this turned out to be Jack Sparrow. Half the time I don't even know what they're going to look like until I get started. And then this guy's always complaining of a headache, but he's got a worm growing out of his forehead. So, but what I thought I'd show you is the progression. When the kids were here 2 weeks ago, I did 2 sessions with them. And so this is one that I carved 2 weeks ago, and you can see what happens. It shrinks, it shrivels, it rots, and just take a toothbrush, brush that off, let it dry a little bit more, and then you paint them. And I use these pizza things, hold your pizza, and I use those to dry so they get air all the way around them. And then here's one that's completely rotted, and I can brush all that off with the toothbrush and then start to paint it like this one. He's not quite finished. And then here's one that's finished, that's ready to coat. And then here's another one that's drying and just finished. But see, I love this. And here is the normal sweet potato. And then I found over at Horrocks this potato. And I forget what the name they call it, but you can see them over there. And these things dry white and dry within a couple of days. Where this sweet potato takes sometimes 2-3 weeks. And with the brushing. And then I coat them with Deft or polyurethane, and I paint them with just basically acrylic paint. And let's see, yeah, this one probably, it's pretty hard now, but I'll brush this off and leave it for another week or two, and then it'll be ready to paint. And a friend of mine in Texas has some good wood. He makes these bases, and the potato gets so hard you can actually drill in the bottom of it. And then I put them on a flat roofing nail with a head on it and little pads, and you can set them wherever you want. And let's see. Oh, I gave some to my kids, and instead of putting them on the bases, they used an eye screw and screwed them in the top and hang them on a Christmas tree. Any questions so far?
Yeah, have you tried it with just like an Idaho or a white potato? Does it dry the same?
No, I haven't really, because I know ahead of time that they're more moist, and they have more of a porous fiber. Where like I say, these things cut like a piece of wood, and they rot and get mushy.
That's
And
interesting.
yeah,
We did that for the holiday market to make the beads.
yeah,
But we use the white, and they do take a long time.
Yeah.
Once they dry, they're harder than a rock, but it
Yeah.
takes a while.
but the hard thing is something like this, you know. Obviously the face is here, and the hat is up here, but I haven't really decided what to do. And here's another one. And so I don't know, I thought maybe I'd just carve one of these today. And one of the key things is to wash it. And you get less rotting if you wash it really good. And like this one, I forgot. But maybe by the time I do this one or this one, see, I have one right here where the eye would be, and there's still a little bit of a tuber. Well, I didn't bring it down because I'm afraid I'll break it, but I have one where the tuber was right where the eye is. And so I tell everybody he had a bad sneeze, and I carved a basswood eyeball and put it on the end of it, so his eye's hanging cut out down by his mouth. And then I found another one. My wife's not too happy with that one, where the thing's coming out of his nose, so I heard a lot of snot coming out of his nose. But when we moved, she broke it off, and I can't find the piece yet, so. But anyway, I'm going to get started now.
One more question.
What?
A quick question. Once you paint them, how long do they last?
Oh, one of those has a 2012 date on it. I sign them, and they last forever. Because see,
Okay.
once you put the coating on them, and once they dry, you know, like this, look at that, see, it's hard as a rock, but it still needs to brush the garbage off of it a little bit, and then it gets like this, and you just start painting. And then when I get done, I'm probably going to paint inside of this all yellow. And then I've got the bottom all flattened off, screw a hole in it, put it on a plate, and coat the thing, and it'll be all done.
Mike, do you coat it and then paint it, or do you?
No, I paint it.
Paint it,
Yeah,
and then
put
you
the-
do
put the
coating
protective
on top
coating
of it
on
all?
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, that also, to answer your question, seals the potato even more, so, yeah. And then, like I say, you can get this at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, and it's just an acrylic paint, and paint it and then let it dry and paint the other side. But now, the thing is, I bought really good carving tools, and you don't have to have it, but these are Warren tools, and you can get them on the internet. And so I can unscrew this, the blade slips out, and then I can put that in, and then here are all kinds of shapes and blades that go on that. And then I have this one that does the same thing, only it has a gouge. And then also a V-tool. And then I have the Dockyard Micro Tools, which are V-shapes, scoops, scrapers, and you can make eyebrow lines and hair and everything else with these. And you do them with wood, but they work really well here. And then I've got a guy I work with once in a while, and he makes these, and these are really sharp. And this is a very, very fine tool, which you can cut in around the eyes and stuff, so. And then there's also all kinds of other blades and shapes for these knives, so. And I just bought these the other day, some more micro tools, so, yeah, right here. I haven't used them yet. But you know, it's, you can, like I say, I made a face with the potato peeler, so, you know, you can still kind of do it. But anyway, I thought maybe we'd start here and let's, yeah, let's do this one here for right now. Because you got to kind of stop and look and see. And usually I start with the hat, so I'll come around here like this. See where I am? Come back up here, like so, and make a little bit of a deep cut. And I like to make a kind of a brim to the hat, so I'll go up maybe 3/4 or half an inch or so. And come around, and then as you can see, I left a little something in here, and so I'll paint in there. And then here's the brim that I left, and I did a zigzag. And I have some others where I painted just painted a line. And then I'm going to take this off, and I'll also take this off. So then I use what I call a thumb push, and come up like this.
So are you ending up peeling the whole potato?
No.
No,
Yeah.
do you leave some of the
Yeah,
skin on?
and you can, as you can see some of these, right, here's the top. That's the potato skin on the outside.
Oh.
And
It's
that
pink.
portion.
Okay.
And so, and the nice thing about it is half the time you don't know what you're making for sure, so you don't make any mistakes. If you do one of those, oops, well, you can just cover it up. And if you notice, a lot of them, ears are really tough to do. So I put a lot of hair over them. And then make those little lines, and then that guy's got gray hair, so I put little white streaks in the creases. And just like the pirate here, I had no idea what I was going to do with that. I started carving it, and he turned out to be Jack Sparrow. And he's got bad teeth because you can see the black in there. And I got one that turned out to be an Indian. And so this top part came out, and I made a part of his hair, and then I carved a basswood feather that's hanging from his hat. That's another one I don't take around too much because it can break easy. But
So you have no model before you start?
no, you have a little bit of an idea when you get the potato because you go over and take a look. But I get in fact, I had a guy at Meyer at one time. He's not there anymore. I don't know. I told him I'd give him a couple of bucks for every bad potato they throw out back there. It was as ugly as it could be, and he gave me a couple sometime. He saw me coming. He said, "Oh," I said, "I got a couple potatoes for you." But look how that thing cuts. And then as you look at it, it just depends. You can kind of come down like this. And then once I get where I think his eyes ought to be, and his nose. In fact, the guy I learned to carve from down in the Carolinas, he says he likes to carve sweet potatoes because he can eat his trimmings. But so as you're standing here like this and I'm looking, so then I take the gouge. So, you know, you can do this. See, look already. See how it's starting to shape up? So then take the gouge up for his nose, and you can give him any kind of nose you want, and kind of come up that way.
So most of them are people.
Yeah, I should have brought her. A woman one time I showed her, she said, "Well, you don't have any women," so I made one. Got big lips, lipstick. I forgot to bring that one down. But see there how you can, and then the mouth is down here, and sometimes I carve teeth, and then sometimes I don't. Maybe just put a tongue in.
So
Like I
that-
say, you kind of make it up as you go.
So that new potato, does it peel as well? That
Oh, yeah.
one that lasts longer?
Yeah, it's really good. And that's why I'm really struggling to see what to do with this. This could be a really good one.
He looks
So-
like an animal to
And I
me.
might, well, that's possible. I've seen some which, look like a porpoise or,
Oh, no, I was still seeing the nose and the face, but I was thinking a dog or something like that. He looks like he'd be a funny dog.
but now see on the hat, then I'll come down this way and hit that. And then what I'll do is leave the potato here, and I'll come around here like this. In fact, I was down at Disney World a few years back, and I told a guy what I did, one of the artists there. And so the next time I went, I carved one, and I carved Mickey Mouse on his hat and gave it to him. And when I went down a couple times more, he still had that potato sitting on his drawing table. Now see, I'm just doing that, and all of a sudden, I see two eyes out there. So I could have made another critter in the hat. But I probably won't on this one, that'll take too much time. And so like I say, that you can do this with, with a paring knife, actually, but it's better if you have kind of some carving tools. And you can get some fairly cheap tools at Hobby Lobby and places that'll do this. And then, let's see, we come down here. It actually, unless it's a really special look, only takes about an hour, and you can finish these up. I've had people offer me $25, $30 for these. And I told my wife if I had learned to do this a long time ago, I might have turned it into a business. If I could found 4 or 5 other guys and put these things out. And that woman that does the Christmas choir with the mouth, the round mouth, she's made a fortune out of making this.
And you say an hour, but that's for the basic carving. That's
Yeah.
not counting all the painting and that.
Oh,
kind of
no, yeah,
stuff.
just,
so-
yeah. In fact, we go down to Amish country there in northern Indiana quite a bit, and I was talking to one of the Amish store owners, and I asked him if he had any wood carvers in the area, and he said, no, surprisingly enough, not a lot of them. And I told him, well, I carve sweet potatoes, and he went, what? So the next time I went back down, I took 3 or 4 of them and showed him, and he said, my friend, he said, if you put these in my store, I'll split it 60-40 with you, and sell them. He said, I could sell those all day long in here, but I never did it.
Have you thought about being a vendor at the holiday market? I'm here to sell.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna be in big trouble, I can see that.
I know.
But see, like if I slip right now and cut that top off, you just readjust and make something else out of it. But you can see how easy it cuts, especially compared to a piece of wood.
Looks like it cuts better than a white potato,
Yeah,
because they will split real easy.
yeah.
Now,
And it's-
Or moisture.
around the edge of the hat, of the rim of the hat. Now, you don't take that skin off, then you just paint over it?
Sometimes, or I'll just leave it. In some cases, well, see, I painted a red band here, but the rest of that's potato skin.
Okay.
And so it just
And
depends.
it's not painted at all,
Yeah.
the rest of it?
No. And then like this one here, I just cut circular holes in it. And then I painted a different color in each hole. And then here again, here's a rim that, and then I put like a lightning bolt on the top of it. Oh, I looked at some today in my case, and if any of you'd like to, you can come up to our room and I'll show you. I got, like I say, another 50 or 60 of these in a case, and I looked at some this morning and I hadn't looked at in quite a while. Really goofy looking stuff. Yeah. Okay, see how it's,
But you have control of that knife so well.
yeah. Well, yeah,
That takes practice.
That helps, yeah. And now let's see, so there's his nose, so we'll come across here like that. and then work up. And sometimes, instead of working on the lips, which are hard to do, just make a mustache. And, well, you know, like this one, and this one. Yeah, and this one here, this was a pretty good sized potato, and he just turned out to be a samurai. And I didn't even do that. When I worked at Cisco, the food service company, my last 17 years, and the guys there knew I carved them. And so one morning, one of the guys that brought the sweet potatoes in from the truck brought me a sweet potato, and I'm not kidding you, it was literally that big around and that high, and it weighed 3.5 pounds. And I got it upstairs. It shrunk down, and it's down about like that now. And but I carved it, and
How old is that potato that you're working with?
oh, a couple weeks. Yeah. Now this one, you can see it's getting a little spongy because I've had it a while and just haven't had time to really carve it. So. And but you can put nostrils on him. I can give him bags under his eyes, and
So you like them better to carve when they're hard?
oh yeah,
Yeah, when they were hard, okay.
yeah. See, like this one, I'll probably do that rest of this week or a little later, you know, before it gets too bad. But those are a good potato, and I really like them. And now, like for the hair, I'll start like right up here and come down this way, come around, and you start like right about here, come down. And sometimes when you do that and you cut in, then all of a sudden his face shapes up and looks a little different. And you go, oh yeah, that looks better than what I was working on.
So you said something about the vein in the potato, like what made the octopus one here?
Yeah.
What do you mean by?
Well, there were lumps. Those were lumps.
Lumps.
Yeah, it
okay.
just grew out all the way down. And I looked at it and I thought, gosh, I can make an octopus out of that.
Oh, okay.
And so I just carved around it. In fact, if you look close, his one eye's rolled up in his head.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so see, I got it carved out of the side there, and then come around here and do that. And then I'll take the rest of the skin off of it, and then just carve the lines in it like I did on that one.
Oh.
Now let's see, I'll do this one here. Give the back of the hair a little definition here. And I'm doing something really dangerous, especially with these gouges. You want to get your fingers. If I do a gouging with wood, I've got one of those gloves that's got metal in it. And so when I go like this, it goes into the glove instead of my fingers. Hand. See there?
Yeah, wow.
So when they dry, did they change a lot? Have you ever been disappointed with it?
No.
Of how it changes?
No, they don't change too
They don't.
much. And quite frankly, and my wife thinks this, that the changes are better. you know?
Character.
Yeah, they get a little more character. So now I've trimmed around the hair, and so get that defined. And here's another thing too. You gotta look this way, and then see how it's gonna stand, and then cut that flat section off, so that it'll stand. Especially when you put the nail in it. Now, and then, it's surprisingly enough, you can take a little sander I've got some carving tools upstairs that have blades on them and things, and this thing will just buff down and smooth off. If it's tilting a little bit, I can trim that side down after it's dried.
So what's that white thing there on a stick?
Here?
No, this thing right there.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Well, that's another handmade knife that I have, but I keep the blade
Oh.
banging around
Oh,
by sticking
okay.
it in
I thought it
that.
was something to sand with or something.
Yeah.
No.
No, and then this is a really good knife sharpener too.
Oh.
It's got the steel blades inside.
Pass another one around. Can you do that? Can you pass another one around?
Sure.
And then the funny thing is too, you can, and to even those lines out, just go like this. And then it flattens right out. And as you can see on some of them, if you leave like wrinkles in their face, you can highlight them with an ink pen. I've got different colored micro ink pens. And you'll see some creases in their faces. I'll just leave them and just highlight it with a
I have
little
to
light
leave
brown.
my, can I see the face?
Yeah.
Point the face towards me. Oh, it's coming along. Okay, good. I wish I could stay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, and I may have to finish this later, you know, I don't want to stay, because sometimes some of them take a little longer, but you have to go, that's fine. Now see, now I'm starting to look, and so I got to get his mouth in there. And so let's just take this and,
He kind of has a mustache.
yeah,
Right there.
yeah, see, and I've got to figure out if I want to do that or not, but for right now, we'll just kind of get his mouth, and that'll help me a little bit.
So you don't do ladies too often.
Ladies don't usually wear hats like that. So. But see now, you can begin to see the face shape up. So, you know, anybody could really do this.
Yeah.
A few of us might end up poking ourselves.
Huh?
You are very creative, and you're not a couch potato.
Now, and that's the other thing too, with the chins, a lot of times I put goatees on them, see? Like that one there, and there's the one over there. And so you can just carve that out and okay, let's get this. And see, there you go.
Did you start doing this, or did you have somebody you had seen doing it, and this is where you got your interest?
Well, like I said earlier, I was a wood carver, and when my wife asked me to carve sweet potatoes, I realized
She's the one that
it
started.
cuts like a knife. But then I found a book in a carving store that I go to where a guy actually does it. So I bought that book and read how he let them dry and stuff, and so I did learn a little from him.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, gosh. Well, I was doing it when I was still working, and I retired 12 years ago, so I've been doing it quite a while. Yeah, now see, now what maybe we'll do is put a, let's see.
Poking that nail through you there. You've never messed one up good?
The what?
The nail, when you put the nail on there, do you have to put it on before you spray it or anything like that so that it,
No, I just drill.
you drill it?
Yeah, I've got a drill that's a little smaller than those nails.
Okay.
And so then I drill the hole in the potato, and then the guy that makes the bases for me usually centers it with a hole, and I'll drill that out,
Oh.
and then fix it so the flat head of the nail goes up in And then I just put glue on the nail, stick it up in there, and it glues on. But now see, here's where the micro tools come in handy to kind of carve out his lip here a little bit. And I don't know whether you have noticed or not, there's a store here in Grand Rapids called Woodcraft. And they sell all kinds of carving tools. Well, now I see they're moving this spring right over here on the Beltline.
Oh, yeah?
So if you go out, go down Schaefer to 36th Street and go left on the Beltline, it's right there before you get to 28th Street. They say they're gonna open this spring. And they have all these kind of tools. But this is kind of where you know, you can, like I say, use any kind of a knife pretty much for what I've done so far. But now you can see with the smaller micro tools, how you can start shaping the mouth and the eyebrows. So that's another one that's a little tough. So let's see how that looks.
That's
So you can begin to see how they shape up. Yeah, Sarah's got, his guy's chewing tobacco. You have to stop up and take a look at that. And see, this one, this potato's starting to rot a little bit already,
Yeah.
because I've touched it with my hands and maybe didn't wash it that good.
So what happens if it rots? Do you have to cut the rot out? No, just leave it?
Yeah, you just, well, see, I touched this one, but if you just leave it like that, see how black?
Okay.
And then I just take toothbrush,
Oh, that's right.
bring his eye back. And then once you do this, you gotta let it dry some more. There you can see his eye, just back now. Oops, there. Now, see, I'll take this one, and I'll smooth this down. And then you want to start up here, maybe real close, and do this. And then instead of trying to do it from here up, then you turn it around where you start off and run it down to the end. And that's how you make the hairlines. Like that. And you do it all the way across. But see, now I've done it, I don't have to worry about any ears. Or like I might make a lobe over here. I want to get this off of here. See that this one will come out all right, but it's going to rot really bad because it's doing it now. And of course, and this potato's a couple weeks old, maybe 2.5 weeks old. So.
You mean, by rotting, you mean turn black?
Yeah, see it all right down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because that did, and
Yeah.
and but it'll still get hard, and you'll be able to paint it and scrub it clean. see here.
You don't think that your hand, the oils from your hand mixed with the sweet potato that causes that, or?
Well, it probably does now when I touch that one over there, and I'll transfer it to here. But no, that doesn't. Before I started today, I used the alcohol wash on my hands. But see, now is where it gets hard. You got to decide what to do with the face. Kind of wrinkles, and I could even give him bigger eyes than that.
But the drying process makes it wrinkle more, doesn't it?
No.
No, not really?
No.
That's, you put all them wrinkles in there, huh?
Yeah.
He likes old people.
Pretty nice. But if any of you, do this or want to try it, why, call me, and when you do it, I'll come help you.
Bunch of ladies are gonna call you and they're gonna make them for, for the holiday market.
Yeah, the holiday market.
How many times did you, well, of course, you've been carving for a while. How many times did you poke yourself or mess up a finger or two?
A few times.
Yeah.
I'll never forget using this gouge one time. I went like this, and
Yeah.
this thing went, boom.
Yeah.
Now, see, his nose is not real big, but that's okay. I'll give him a little more here. And
You
sometimes
name
when
them?
you do that, you slip and then you lose your
Oh.
stuff underneath, and you have to redo the eye.
Do you have names for them?
Names?
Yeah, you name them?
Yeah, yeah.
No, just stories. I always tell everybody that under his hat he wears a plastic bag because a critter lives there.
Okay, pass another one around.
Yeah, and then one over here is why you don't have an octopus as a pet. And,
Face up.
see, I'm kind of liking that big bag under his eye. But I don't know. I have to do it on the other side, so even it out a little bit. Oh, yeah. Now, see, you just a couple of guts and you're getting a little more character. Let's see, where's that here? Micro tool. And I even have been able to make down here the nostril and take this one, which is a half round, and then circle it and pull it out, and then so you've got a nose thing there where I can paint it pink.
Mike, could you paint it now and seal it and not shrink it?
No. You,
Like in general, I'm not saying right now.
yeah. It doesn't always, shrink much, but some of them do change,
Yeah.
But that's the nice thing about this potato, look how nice and white, it's hard as a rock.
Yeah.
And so I can paint it pretty quick. And like I say, this is the same kind of potato, and I'm not finished. I still got to put some highlights in and paint inside his hat. And before I put the coating on it.
But if you sealed it like that, it would still rot, like you have it right now. Like the fresh one?
Oh, the fresh one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that. You want to get all that. See, but here within probably the next 2-3 days, that thing will be clean completely, because you'll be able to brush it, and there's a little dampness underneath that, and then you wait and brush it a little bit more, and pretty soon you can tell. It's just like this one, it's all brushed and painted. Now I got to put the coating on it. I forgot I even had this. I ran across it. And see here again, there's a natural potato for the brim of the hat, but I also colored, cut out little holes and painted them different colors.
So there, the one that's the new potato, if it's dry, it's just hard. Oh, I mean, how do you know it's ready to carve? It just feels nice and hard?
Oh, you can
Oh,
carve
no,
it.
you carve it at first, so,
Yeah, you
okay.
can carve it immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you know it's ready to paint? It just feels nice and hard?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You'll know. You see, I'm working on that one nostril right there. Cut it in right over here.
Floyd wants to do this, he carves wood. Let's try it. Floyd will get you ready.
Well, there is a wood carver here.
That's Floyd. He just came in.
Yeah. Well, see here, hand me that one, no, the other one, right, yeah. See, I did this, and then I was down in Amish country, and I thought I needed a handle for it, so I got one of those harness knobs, and a buddy of mine put it on there, but then I got, and it's hard enough that you can put a lot of weight on it, and it's just for the right height for stick. Yeah, it's a lot of it depends on the kind of wood you get, but
A couple others.
Look at the faces.
let's take a little more character with his mouth. And then let's trim this up, make that lip and get his nose a little deeper.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I saw the elephant first,
The China man.
and then the rest of it just came afterwards.
That's a heavy stick.
It's his hands. Yeah.
And as you go, his face will begin to shape up as you start trimming away. And so that, half the time you never know what he's really gonna look like until you're finished or make the slip and,
Takes on personality.
yeah. And then you think, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to do that, but that looks better, and so you do something else to it.
And this is like it, yeah.
That is so cool.
It just goes with the.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out which one you were holding.
See, and a lot of it too is the kind of potato you find.
The shape, you mean?
And the shape, yeah. And as soon as we go shopping at Horrocks, Mary Ann knows where I go right away. Sweet potatoes. And if I don't find anything, I don't buy it. And every once in a while, I have 3 or 4 that look really good. Now you can see the hair starting to take shape.
You want to sit closer?
I saw he's coming. But he's got a face over here, Joe.
An eyebrow.
The Lion King.
Is that as hard as wood? What
What?
you're carving, is that as hard as wood? Or is it?
No, well, you can feel it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as hard as, it feels like it might be, but when you dig into it, it's not, yeah. Okay, let's see.
Just lay it down flat. There you go.
Let's see, it turned out he's got a long nose. And then I'll give him this a little more.
When you start carving something, do you have sort of an idea what it's going to be? Or do you just
A little
keep
bit.
chipping off and it
Yeah,
reveals itself?
because so many of them have the tall hats and that.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of fun. Now, see, he has a nose up under there, and I'll take this one right here. Cut a nostril in. And then when I paint it, that'll all be pink up there. And the rest of it will be a flesh color. I forgot to bring him down too. I have a Rastafarian. I saw one that had like those big hats that they wear down in the islands, and so I got a big hat with multicolors on it.
That one's cool.
And he looks, yeah,
Yeah, that one's cool.
yeah, he really
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Have you ever tried like a turnip or a beet or like any root
No.
vegetable?
I haven't, and I think most of those would probably not do well.
No.
Yeah. And since others have discovered this is where you stick. But this reddish potato, this is the best. Now I did this one because it's easier and faster. But most of the potatoes I'm going to carve now will come out like this. See, look, that was on that. I don't know who'd buy that to cook, but when I saw that, I thought, well, what a hat that'll make, you know? And let's see, and I've carved in here, so he's got two big teeth in front. So I'll put a little dark brown in the middle and leave his white. I could put a cavity on it or whatever else I want to do. But you can feel how hard that is. I can pass it around and how it dried.
Go this way.
And when I get this one finished, maybe I'll stick it on Harriet's table or something. And you come by and see it.
Yeah.
Somebody's playing the piano up there.
No, must be upstairs.
Yeah.
And there again, see how I made it with no ears?
I didn't see any with ears.
Yeah, pass that one
Yeah.
around, Chief.
Yeah, and I might carve a little one over here. And so here, let's pass that over the other way. And if you know, if you have to go, go ahead, because it's still going to take a while to get this. Any other questions?
How many of those potatoes have you thrown away?
We're all here,
Well, I haven't thrown any of them away.
I mean, when you're carving, I mean, they're always good to carve.
Yeah. Well, I usually buy the potato, and when I see it, I carve it within a couple of days of doing it. But like I say, this one here, I've had for, I don't know, a month. And it's getting just a tad mushy right here, but I'll carve that away. But like this one's really a struggle, because I'm trying to figure out what to do, how to do that, what kind of a face. It might even make an animal out of it, I don't know.
Could do a camel.
Yeah, chop the top of it off.
Snoot.
And then this one I just picked up the other day, because I thought, well, maybe I'll carve it, and then I decided to do the regular potato. But as you turn it around, here again, you can see hair, hat, face, and then like I said, the hair, finish the hair, take it right down to the end. And I might, I still do something with the brim.
That depends on the painting too.
Yeah, and then the painting, that makes a big difference too. And now, and sometimes, see, when I carved his mouth, there's no room for teeth. Sometimes there's a ridge. And so this time I'll leave the teeth with the lips over it. And,
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The Swedes have these creatures from fairyland that they call tomte, T-U-M-T-E. And they're usually very short clothing, and then they have a long beard, and then, of course, some kind of a pointed hat.
yeah.
And they love to watch over you. You might, it would perfectly suit what the kind of carving you're doing. If you look it up, you call it up on the web, T-U-M-P-T-E, and it's a Swedish
Okay.
kind of.
Or if you have a picture.
I don't have one here, but I can give one. Yeah.
Like these gnomes. The
It's
gnomes.
it's part of that.
It's like the gnomes,
Yeah, if you look at the gnomes and fairies, the whole lore, folklore of Sweden, you see these things. They're very long beards. And you can't hardly see their eyes. Their
Right.
nose is usually at the hairs coming down.
I think I've seen what you're talking about. Yeah.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, it's and like I say, if any of you decide you want to try it, let me know, I'll help you.
Always stands up.
Well, he will. He's got a flat bottom. And then I'll drill up through there.
Yeah.
And it won't make any difference.
Oh, I
once-
see. Okay, yeah,
Once the
I
nail
forgot.
gets in up there.
I forgot about those.
Yeah. And I don't know, this one is real little. I just found this in a drawer the other day. I carved that a long time ago, but, and I
It
think.
would be cute on a Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah, and one of the reasons I did it was it had such a weird top to it when I bought the potatoes. And so you're right, you might put that.